Hello, everyone. My name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woody.
Today, I want to talk about divers being in out of air situations. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because earlier this week, I posted a video on Dive Talk Plus. By the way, if you haven't checked out Dive Talk Plus, go ahead and subscribe. It's awesome. Plus, we're going to start a new series in Dive Talk Plus. Woody and I were talking about this, where sometimes we post videos and people ask questions that we didn't disclose in the video, or have comments or say, why do you say this? Why do you say that? Or maybe you guys missed this because you were talking over there, whatever. There's a lot of videos where people add a lot of commentary. We're now going to be doing debriefs of videos like a couple weeks or a month after we post them. So the videos that are the most controversial will come back and we will do a reaction to your comments on the videos on Dive Talk Plus. So,
Yeah, because you got a lot of nice ones on the last video.
they love me. As usual. So anyway, we will be releasing the first one, which will be about Jeremy Wade's dive, where apparently I was hypercritical because there was a diver saying they were in a perilous situation and there was perfect calm motions. And I just didn't get it. And they're like, well, you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you just didn't eat that day and you were just
All right,
in a bad mood.
Watch Dive Talk Plus for the
like
debrief on Jeremy Wade's video and your comments. I will be answering them and being very patient with
Well, I
people.
would eat if beforehand that day and you won't be as cranky. Or maybe sleep and eat. Something happened. I don't know what it was.
Dive Talk Plus, subscribe. But anyway, I posted a video there where I talked about an emergency that happened underwater where my dive buddy a couple weeks ago ran out of air at 66 feet suddenly, like 15 minutes into the dive. And one of the comments that I received the most was, what kind of idiot diver runs out of air in 15 minutes? Because people don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand, that there could be other reasons why people run out of air, and they are immediately slamming the poor diver. Guys, I already mentioned on the comments, it was an issue with the equipment. The equipment had issues. So I went online on YouTube, and I found other examples of people running out of air due to equipment failure.
Have you ever run out of air?
I don't think so.
No. Have you ever needed to breathe off of somebody else's regulator? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think you have.
Oh, yeah.
So things, and I don't say that to poke fun of you.
Yeah.
Things can happen. And before you run this, was it a big deal? Or was everybody calm, cool and collected and you were fine?
It was great.
Fine.
And we'll be recording other videos to address those comments. Again, debriefs, subscribe to Dive Talk Plus. But the point is, there are times where divers are in out of air situations, not because they ran out of air, but because of other issues, equipment failure, whatever happened. So we have a couple of short videos. So this video is not going to be long. Short videos demonstrating out of air situations from divers that didn't really run out of air. So let's take a look and comment. So here's a girl doing some pirouettes.
She's got a weight belt on.
Water. Yeah. Old school. Oh, well, that's not supposed to happen.
So she's breathing.
So if you
just
all
got
right.
her alternate. What? I don't want to.
Let's talk about it.
I don't want to. But
let's talk about what happened because
know,
I don't
but-
think people
Okay, but I
saw.
actually, because I was gonna actually say, what she's doing is not that uncommon. Because we can practice the drill over and over. By the way, what happened was her mouthpiece came off the regulator. So now basically she's breathing water.
Nothing.
It's just a little rubber mouthpiece left now. That's it. That's the explanation. We don't have to go on and on about that. What I want to say, though, is it's very interesting. This happens a lot. That the immediate reaction after practicing is not that I even have an alternate. It's bolt.
Yep.
It's
I'm
flight.
Out.
It's flight. I got it. As all I know, my brain's like, up there, I can breathe. Here right now, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I'm not being critical. You can easily forget you have another alternate right there. Mm-hmm. So my point is, don't make fun of her. This is easy to forget.
Absolutely not.
In the real situation. Now, if you know you're doing a drill, it's so easy. You know, it's a drill.
Of course.
I'm going to go for my alternate. You're thinking ahead, but
I know
you
where
don't
it
know
is.
what you're going to do when it really happens.
I know where it is, and I think this is why the thing that you and I do, that we realize we do it without really practicing or talking about it, which is every once in a while during the dive, we touch our necklace, we touch our other regular, like we know where everything is at. We discover that we do it.
It's so weird that you do it and I do it.
Yeah.
I'm literally like, right now, if my DSV on my rebreather failed and filled up, there it is. It's right there. I do that. Oh, what about this one?
Everything is good.
There it is. When I'm cave diving, I touch both. Can I reach those regulators?
Yeah.
While we're diving, I'm
Tank
doing it,
valves,
by the way.
I'm good.
Yeah, I do it. I touch everything.
And with a go, I even add I feel the counter lungs. Is anything restricting them? Like every once in a while, I do that. But the point is that a lot of people don't do stuff like that. And then every time they practice this, they know it's coming. So it's easy for you to be like, oops, regulator is out. And like you see the instructors, they toss it like this. And they're like, oh, I lost my regulator.
They'll do this. They'll be like
it.
some kind of lean to the right. Sweet.
Yeah.
Like you're really going to like slow. There it is. And then I get it's a demo, but that ain't going to happen.
Bro.
You're going to be like,
right.
Where's the
I'm
damn
out.
thing?
And so again, like Woody mentioned, for those of you who are non-divers, when you have a regulator in your mouth, there's a rubber mouthpiece that is detachable, not easy to detach. We attach it with zip ties, and it's not supposed to come off, but it's supposed to be detachable because it breaks over time. You bite through it, whatever, and you can replace them. Like every once in a while, you will find a mouthpiece that is broken, and you can just replace it, put a new zip tie, and you're done. So anyway, it's meant to come off, but not easily. Now, sometimes it fails. It happened to me at Blue Grotto. We were at the bottom of Blue Grotto, which is 105 feet, so 30 plus meters. And we were doing an out-of-air scenario from the bottom. The goal was we're going to body breathe or, out of air from the bottom of Blue Grotto all the way to the surface. That was the exercise, and I was the victim, okay? So I tell my buddy I'm out of air. He donates the regulator, which was the cheapest octopus I've ever seen, right? It was like $30 from the dollar store. And I get the regulator, put it in my mouth. The guy turns around to swim without grabbing me, right? Because he's learning. And he takes the regulator with him, and I end up with a mouthpiece in my mouth, breathing in water. So luckily, I was at that point conscious enough to grab my regulator and put it back in my mouth and breathe. But like you said, for most people, the first thing is I need to go back to the surface. And in this case, when this happened to her, she not only could have gone back to the octopus or the alternate regulator, she could have gone to her body and be like, I'm out of air.
Or she could have actually gone back to the primary without the mouthpiece.
Yes.
You can breathe from that part.
Yep.
You have to kind of open your mouth a little more.
Yeah.
But you could put that in your mouth and seal your mouth. Uncomfortable.
Or you can just clear a little bit. Rather than trying to suck in, you can just
purge and breathe.
Purge a little bit and breathe, which we did. If you remember during the meetup, we went underwater with a tank, no second stage, like no regulator at all. Just the hose.
No problem.
And we were breathing out of the hose underwater. And when we were doing the trim and buoyancy workshop, I remember just swimming to people and handing them a hose. And they're like, what is this? And I'm like, go ahead and breathe. And they would be like, oh, we can breathe out of a hose. Yep. So, yeah, if you don't have a mouthpiece, you can breathe. It's not perfect, but you can definitely breathe out of it. So she had multiple options, but at the same time, we don't make fun of it or blame her because the first action that most people take is bolt. I'm out. So at some point, she reached out and ripped the regulator out of their mouth. And now this guy's breathing out of the octo. It's hard to see what's going on. But I guess they're going up.
But you see how panicked somebody can get. They'll rip that reg right out of your mouth, man. They don't realize they have one.
Yeah. And that's why I think when we were talking about the long hose configuration is beneficial is because if they do rip it out of your mouth, you were breathing out of the long hose, they can take the long hose and you have the necklace really quickly to get back into it. But regardless of your configuration, whether you're using a regular octo or you're using those Air 2 which is like a combo BCD inflator and whatever. The point is you need to train so you know how to react if something like this happens.
By the way, it seems like the donor here didn't donate purposely, but he became the donor. He seemed pretty calm.
He was voluntold to be the donor.
She may have discovered, by the way, I have a regulator. Look, she may have.
Right. And, as the donor, you're not panicking. You could be like, here's your regulator and like help them,
I mean, that sounds like whoever's breathing is breathing pretty calm.
Yeah. See what happens if they get to the surface or not. Everybody's still down there.
Yeah, they don't
They're
look
close
too
to the
deep either.
surface. Maybe they're on the safety stop. Which, by the way, I was criticized for too. That I did a safety stop with my victim. They were like, "You should have just gone to the surface."
You had
it was
plenty of air?
2,400 psi.
I don't see a problem with
80%
that.
of my air left in the tank, and they were like, "You should have just
If you
gone
had
to
enough
the
air,
surface."
you can do the safety stop.
Bro, like, what's the rush?
problem?
Yeah. Well, I apparently did it wrong. We all survived, and everything was good, but I rescued her wrong.
And that is a really subtle but important point.
Yeah,
They're fine.
of course.
So was that a good rescue?
I mean, I would say so.
They're fine. Anybody sick? Anybody hurt?
No.
Anybody panic?
No, we surfaced literally at the stair, like whatever, the ladder to get on the boat.
Then you did a good job.
I would think
I'm
so.
not gonna.
Anyway, the experts on YouTube disagreed. So the second one is, let's see, this one, I don't remember if it's an equipment failure or not, but let's see. It's a out of air story. So let's react to this one too.
This is footage from my out-of-air incident that occurred on July 5th at the USS Mindanao dive site. Everything was going to plan, and I was really enjoying this location. I was swimming to the front of the group and then to the back, trying to get a variety of shots for the video. See, I normally dive with my best friend JD. Me and him have dove a lot together and can easily read each other underwater. On this particular dive, I was filling an empty seat on the boat after someone else had bailed on the trip. I didn't see this being much of an issue though. I closely monitor my air and stay close to the group. I didn't realize yet that this extra swimming was setting me up for a very bad experience. My air was much lower than everyone else's, but I just thought we were nearing the end of the dive.
So
I
I'm
was
gonna
not familiar with this location, and with the viz,
let me pause right here for a second, because you made a comment earlier, and Woody was referencing, whether I have had to breathe from other people's regulators, and the answer is yes, because it happened recently during the meetup, during the night dive. So I don't know if we'll ever like share the whole background story behind this, but when I was in Roatan, I was told that I can take a class and get certified under the Roatan Lionfish Police or something to be able to kill lionfish in Roatan. So you have to take a class and you get a license, and I get my card, and it's all legit. And so you go during the day to kill lionfish, and it's hard to find them. Like, I still will kill like 2 or 3, whatever, every dive, but it was hard to find. Then when we go at night, it's like they're all out, and all the big ones are out. Because, like I kill some lionfish that were tiny. During the night, it's like the big ones are out, like full on hunting. So on that night dive, I'm like a pinball like ball. I'm like bing, 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 bing. Everybody's like, gas.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh my God. But I mean, the best part about it, and I don't know if there's footage of this dive, but the best part about it, I remember looking back because I was at the front of the pack looking for lionfish. I remember turning around and seeing Mike Young, Rick Stanton, Doug, you, like everyone looking for lionfish for me. So I'm like, this is the world's deadliest underwater search block, like search party ever. And all I hear is like, ding, 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 Gus, ding, ding, ding. And we at the same time are looking for octopus for Jonathan Bird and Todd that wanted to film some octopus. So, but the vast majority of things that people were finding were lionfish. So I was just swimming fast, like killing, and like not even putting in the zookeeper when I'm getting another call from somebody else. And then Mike, hey Gus, and then because I was the only one with a spear that night, and there's like 20 of us. So everyone is just calling me to go kill lionfish. So like 30 minutes or 45 minutes into the dive, I realized that I'm down to like 1,000 PSI. And we were going to do a 1 hour dive. So I just started looking for who is most likely to have a lot of air left. I was in open circuit that night. And I found Terry. And Terry had like 5,000 PSI left or something. It's stupid. She had so much. So as I'm tired, I'm like, okay, just give me yours. And so I'm breathing. And then you swim by and you're like,
you're out of air? I thought that's what I was like, is this a drill or did you run out of air? I'm like,
what are you doing?
I look at,
are you an idiot?
You okay? Is he okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm out of air.
I'm like, come and feel the weight of the zookeeper, and now you'll know why. But anyway, so I was with Terry. I caught my breath with Terry like for like 10 minutes. I was just resting and breathing her air, and then I got back on my air to finish the dive. But the point is, when you're working hard, you will breathe faster. Just like if you play basketball or something, you will be like breathing more. So yeah, no surprise. If you're breathing faster, breathing more, you will run out of air before everyone else. It's pretty straightforward. So anyway, that's what this guy is talking. He was working hard. And in dives, if you have poor trim and you're swimming with your hands and you're doing a lot of, movements with your body to try to keep up with the group, then you will be getting tired and you will be breathing faster than everyone else. And that's what this guy is talking about.
Times dropping to 15 feet or less, I just played follow the leader to get back to the anchor line. But I kept wondering how soon will that happen. Eventually, the group stops to compare air. Most everybody was around 1,500 PSI.
Half a tank.
I glance at mine and see 900. I'm thinking, dang, that's the end of the dive. And Keith, our leader, gives the signal to turn around. We start swimming back in just a mild current along the bottom. We make some progress, and I can start to see what I thought was the ascent location. But it wasn't. Just more concrete casings. I go to check my air again and feel that my SPG hose feels very limp. I read 400 PSI. I wait.
That comment that was on the bottom was important. Like he knew. He's like, okay, where is everybody? And who am I going to get to quickest? Also, by the way, it's not just people that are, if you're working harder, some people simply breathe more air.
Yeah.
You're bigger. You're not as in good a shape. You're going to breathe more air. And a lot of times people will say, well, we should know each other's surface air consumption rate, so we plan our dives as buddy team on whoever is going to probably be using the most air. And we do that a lot when we're doing technical diving.
Yep.
We use the more conservative. The person who's going to breathe more, we use their SAC rate in planning out how much bailout gas do we need.
You pause here, and I wanted to mention when he said people had 1,500, I mentioned half a tank. So for those of you who are not divers or perhaps are divers but work with bar, 1,500 bar is about 1,500 PSI is about 100 bar, which is half a tank. So he had, when everyone else were at half, that's when they said, let's turn around and go back. This guy was at 900 PSI. So he used 2,100 to get to halfway point.
Yeah.
He's in trouble.
Wave down Keith and give him the sign for low air.
This is the sign for low air, by the way. You beat your chest.
He nods and points in a direction and begins to swim hard. It looks like he is descending again, and I feel frightened as I chase after him. I can hardly catch my breath, and I start to slow down. I feel like my CO2 is climbing, all while trying to conserve air.
That's it, and your dive. You have 400
I
PSI.
check
You're
my
almost
gauge
out.
again and see 200.
Oh,
now
boy.
I am starting to panic.
You gotta go up
Immediately.
as you can get to this guy.
I'm taking smaller breaths than normal, thinking it will make a difference. But it has a very negative effect by increasing my CO2 levels even further and making me feel like I'm running a marathon, huffing and puffing my air even faster.
Bro. Wait, why
I
did
would
Keith
not
swim
give no
away?
okay. No, but why would he give him an okay? I would be flashing my light. Read the top. Keith.
No, but Keith is the guy. So okay, so this guy who's filming is the one who's low on air,
I know.
and Keith is a dive buddy. So this guy gives the low on air signal, and Keith decide I'm gonna swim as fast as possible away from you. Like that's what it seems like. And then after he swims for a while away from the guy, he turns around and he's like, "Are you okay, bro? I just told you I'm low on air. What are you doing?"
But why did he say so? I give him an okay.
Oh, I thought he said,
Read it.
"Yeah, Keith knows I'm low, so I give him an okay since I'm still breathing."
Why would you give him an okay? That's my point that I was trying to say when you interrupted me. Do not.
I never interrupt you,
Mostly.
so I don't know.
Do not get at that point.
Yeah.
The right move is flash
your
your
light.
light. If you're shaking your light, I got a problem. I'd be like, get over here.
Yep.
That's what I didn't understand. Why would you give him an okay?
Are you okay?
Are you
I'm almost
okay?
there.
I'm
Swimming
about
full
that.
bore at Keith, and right before I reach him, it's getting hard to pull air with less than 100
Where you
psi.
going?
Keith is out of there, bro.
Stop. Turn around. Look at the light.
I can
Flash
just
your
reach his fins, and I start trying to tug on one to get his attention. He turns around, and I let him know I'm in trouble. He turns as if he is about to start swimming
He swims.
fast.
He
And I am
leaves
in
again.
What in the heck? I am really
I know at
confused.
this point I'm in serious trouble. I'm not sure if I should speed up and catch Keith or head for the surface right where I'm at.
Bro,
I remember
Keith wants
vividly
you to
thinking,
die. What are you
I'm
talking
going to
about?
end up killing myself on this dive. Little did I know, he was pointing at the anchor line, showing me we are back.
Give him
Here, you can
first.
die. You can die close to the boat.
But that was crazy.
I don't.
Step one, give him air.
Where do you go from
But
here?
the tank runs empty.
Right when he got to the line, which is luck. This
He
is-
immediately gives me his octo and we start to share air on the safety stop.
Wow.
My empty tank is so buoyant that I had to complete my stop upside down, which, all things considered, was fine by me. I couldn't help but feel embarrassed as the rest of the group make their way up the anchor line and see that I'm sitting there out of air. I made multiple mistakes on this dive, and I admit that. I will never again assume that the dive is almost complete. I gave the okay signal multiple times, even though I wasn't okay.
okay. He's
He's
fair.
admitting his.
Keith was
his-
very busy with
yeah,
multiple
his
new
mistake.
divers, and I didn't want to burden him by telling him I'm out of air every 5 minutes.
What?
I was hesitant on sharing this, but realized how wrong I was when I was thinking.
Okay.
Nobody is a burden down there. We are all friends, and want our friends to make it back.
Yep.
They told
Except
me
for
that
Keith.
confidence is dangerous, and it certainly is.
No, but
I just
Keith-
didn't even realize what I
It's
was
not-
doing to myself.
No, but Keith didn't. I mean, he gave him an okay. I'm thinking Keith is like,
Uh huh.
you're okay. Okay, then come to the line. I mean, I asked you, like, right then you had an opportunity to say, no, dude, I'm out of air.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. I'm not, yeah, I'm probably going to die, but I'm all right.
All right. Sorry.
So
Keith,
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
think you really got to crush
right.
Keith here. I think
I'm not. I apologize. Keith, you're
the,
right.
The diver that was
Yeah.
out of air admitted I'd handled it wrong as the victim.
It is true. It was
did.
it was his fault for telling
He said
Keith
it.
he was okay.
We don't have to.
But Keith was his bad.
Keith's like, all right, well, let's go to
I'm
the
out.
line. I'd like to get
Yeah.
back to the line.
Yeah, but
You're okay.
he stayed with him. So
Yeah.
Keith, good job.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give
Keith
it. I'll
did a
give
good
it up
job.
to Keith. Shout out to Keith.
Thank you. I mean, he really, Keith's like, okay, you're all right. I mean, I think this was a good video by the victim
Mm-hmm.
and said what he did wrong. We don't need to repeat what he said. He said exactly what we would have said.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if. Looks like he's gonna make it.
Yeah,
I just-
they're together.
I wanted to mention, I think, for people who are, if you're either a diver who's never run out of air, or you're not a diver and you don't know how it works, you don't run out of air suddenly. I tell you from experience because I ran out of air during training. During our rescue class,
Out.
I was a victim, and I ran out of air waiting to be rescued. They never found me. So
To become a real victim.
I almost became a real. So here's what happens, right? I'm looking at my computer, and I get to 200 psi, and then you get to 150 psi, 10 bar, and it just keeps going down. And I'm like, okay, like when I get to like 50, I'm gonna go up.
And you were shallow. Let's put some perspective on it.
Yeah, I was like 5 meters down or 15 feet down. Like
right,
I was,
you weren't even beyond where it would have triggered a safety stop.
No, and I was like right next to the dock where I can just go up and get out. So and we got to that point not by doing like a 4-hour dive. It's like we put like I don't know how many dives on those tanks. Like so we don't have to switch tanks. So we just do multiple dives. So anyway, the point is I'm down there, and what you will notice when you're running low on air is that right around 120 psi, so this will be like 8 bar for people that work in bars, your regulator starts to struggle to breathe. The reason for that is because the way regulators work is the first stage, which is the part, regulators are 2 parts, first and second stage. The first stage, which is the part that connects directly to the tank, that one reduces the pressure from whatever your tank has, let's say it has 2,000 psi, to an intermediate pressure, which varies depending on brands.
140,
130,
150,
123, 125.
Something like
So
that.
depends on the manufacturer and the model. But the point is, it takes the pressure in the tank from
Reduces
thousands and reduces it to like 120, let's just say.
Yep.
And then from there, it sends 120 to your second stage, which is this thing in your mouth. And that one reduces it even further
It's like a breathable
to
pressure.
a breathable pressure. However, if the tank itself doesn't have more than the pressure the regulator is supposed to reduce it to, then you have problems. So by the time my tank got down to 120, my first stage is supposed to be like, I'm supposed to have
sucking.
more so I can lower it to 120.
You're like having to suck.
Well, now you have so
Pulling
now you start
hard.
like
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
So it doesn't happen like lights out, you're out of air. You start to notice. The problem is if you start to notice when you're 100 feet. That's a problem. Because I was at 15 and I'm like, okay, I can take a couple more breaths. And I made it up to the surface. I was at like 42 psi. It was pretty low. But I could breathe all the way to the surface.
People that have
Yeah.
reported that have forgotten to turn their tank all the way on, like they just, I don't know, they did it like a cracking.
Yeah.
They're breathing fine at the beginning, and then it's going to seem like they're out of air because they didn't turn their tank all the way on.
Correct.
Because it's constricting more and more because you have less and less pressure, but it's going to feel like you're out of air. Whereas all you needed to do is turn your tank all the way on,
Yeah.
which is pretty much a beginning safety, pre-dive safety check.
Yeah.
Is your tank on?
But obviously, this is if you run out of air and you run out of air for real, like no equipment failure, you really just
Right.
you weren't monitoring whatever happened, and you run out of air, you will have a little bit of time to make it to your body or to start ascending. You will notice when you get to that 120 whatever 8 bars of pressure, you start noting that you have difficulty. That immediately is going to make you look, and it's going to be almost in red all the way. So you're going to start heading up, or you're going to have time to make it to your body, which is another criticism that I got on the video about the out of air thing, where people are like, oh, you're saying you can hold your breath or whatever, but when you run out of air, you typically run out of air when you're about to breathe in and you realize you don't have anything. No, it doesn't work like that. You can tell you're running out of air unless it's an equipment failure. If your first stage ceases, like it freezes or something happens, then yes, it's lights out, you're out of air. But if you're running out of air for real, like you just breathe your whole tank, then you will notice before you're completely out. So you will have time to get to your body or whatever, but that's why good body awareness and staying together matters. Because if something like that happens, you can get to them. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it's not lights out completely. But if you want to hear my whole story on what happened and how I ended up donating air to somebody who was suddenly out of air underwater at 66 feet or 20 meters, I'm going to leave it right here and take the opportunity to subscribe to Dive Talk Plus because we're about to tackle our first debrief ever, which is about Jeremy Wade. People so hurt over my...
Yeah, you just got to eat and not be cranky, and that helps all of us. Bye,
See you
everybody.
then.